Right after the burst of the sanitary outbreak, a federal eviction moratorium was put into place to avoid the massive displacement of American renters amid a ravaging health crisis. The order has prevented landlords from evicting millions of tenants that were behind on their rent payments. On the other hand, all the rental debt accumulated since then didn't go away, and tenants are expected to pay for it at some point. Conversely, small landlords were sent to the brink of financial ruin after the measure was implemented. And many filed lawsuits against the moratorium, alleging it wasn't legal, while also questioning CDC's authority to issue such a decree. Housing experts started to sound red alerts for a massive homelessness crisis in case the order expired or was removed, which prompted the government to extend the moratorium twice. However, last week, a federal judge in the Eastern District of Texas named John Campbell Barker finally heard landlords pleading, and now it's official. The moratorium was ruled unconstitutional, which means a tragic eviction tsunami is about to start. That's what we're going to expose today. So stay with us. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, share this video, subscribe to our channel to keep updated with the next chapters of the United States economic collapse.
Shalom. I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who are my teachers. Much respect to the brothers laboring worldwide in truth and sincerity, and salutations and blessings to the hopeful elect, believing on the words of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua. And as you heard, the federal judge in Texas ruled that the moratorium is unconstitutional. So all of these various people who have been out of work and that rent bill has piled up and now it's due. All right, and this is actually, Yahweh Shai, affecting Israel, because it's mostly you Jake women, you Eves that's going to be affected by this. Why? Because you have those haughty looks, and you choose to go to Esau for the want of everything. You choose to depend on this devil. All right, let's go to the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 30. And verse 1, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. And of course, our people are like that. They don't want to hear the words of the Lord. They don't want to turn back from their wickedness. Those same spirits are back that said we want Barabbas, right? Those same spirits are back that said we have no king but Caesar. All right? And it's time for their judgment. And it's just the beginning, man. When these people are starting to get put out on the street and they don't have no way to eat or no way to make money, no way to have heat, no way to have a roof over their head, then you gonna really see society around here break down. All right? Because it ain't just the Jakes that's gonna catch you. There's these Edomites too. All right? Verse 2, that walk to go down to Egypt. This is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 2. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Yeah, they're trusting in a fickle thing. A shadow is a fickle thing. It's here today and it's gone tomorrow. All right? But our people are trusting in it. Okay? You got 4 years with Biden. Then what? What you gonna do then? You're right back in the same boat instead of trusting and leaning on the Lord Yahweh Shai, right? Verse 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, you see? And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion, you see? So the Lord has this thing mapped out perfectly, all right? All those people who think that little $1,400 stimulus check is going to get them something, man. You've been without work for close to a year now, okay? You've had moratorium on evictions, but those bills still were piling up, okay? And it's going to get real out here, man. Let's play some more of this video.
Last Thursday, John Campbell Barker, a judge in the Eastern District of Texas, issued the 21-page ruling responding to a lawsuit from a group of landlords and property managers, saying the federal government cannot say that it has ever before invoked its power over interstate commerce to impose a residential eviction moratorium, Barker wrote in his decision, remarking that it did not do so during the Spanish flu health crisis or during the Great Depression. He continued saying, the federal government has not claimed such a power at any point during our nation's history until last year. No federal law requires that a landlord give possession of a dwelling in the first instance to a person who cannot pay rent and who would otherwise live in congregate housing, Barker continued, adding that the federal order against evicting such persons is thus not supportable as a backstop to avoid undercutting such a broader regulation. Although the order has helped millions of Americans to stay housed throughout the health crisis, and also one of the toughest winters ever recorded in all United States history, it also caused acute financial distress for many landlords, especially those who run small and mom-and-pop properties. However, Barker hasn't issued an injunction just yet. In his ruling, the judge revealed to expect that the defendants will respect the decision and will voluntarily withdraw the moratorium. Barker wrote that given defendants' representations to the court, it is anticipated that defendants would respect the declaratory judgment. The scope of the order wasn't disclosed so far, but in any case, the current federal moratorium is set to lapse on March 31st, and the new stimulus package hasn't included any sort of rental assistance plan just yet. Instead, it still proposes the same measures previously taken and the extension of the moratorium, but it isn't clear whether emergency policies will have the power to overrule the Constitution once again. Some states have their own moratoriums in place, and those might be considered constitutional. Therefore, in those states, renters might be able to appeal the judge's decision and ensure some protection moving forward. But whether it occurs immediately or in a few weeks, the federal moratorium on evictions is expiring. And for tens of millions of Americans, life is about to change in a major way.
Yeah, man, life is about to change in a major way. All right, they said that they don't have any way in the current stimulus to help out renters, man. All right, even when it look like they helping you, they really hurting you. This is Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 10. A righteous man regardeth the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. You see? The tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. And that's what you get with Esau. He give you a moratorium, but you don't have a job, okay, to make money, because he shut down the economy, he shut down everything, okay? Give you a moratorium on paying rent. Let that bill increase beyond what you can pay in a single amount. So what? You can be out on the street, man. All right? This is actually Yahweh Shah doing this. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. Okay? Because the Lord, he's no longer, playing with Israel. All right? When the 1/3 start crying out to the Lord for salvation, 2/3 are going to get caught up in the wrath. This is Jeremiah chapter 16. I'm going to start at the top. The word of the Lord, Yahweh Shah, came also unto me, saying, Thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither shalt thou have sons or daughters in this place. For thus saith the Lord, concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning their fathers that begat them in this land, they shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth, and they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcass shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. You see? That's what the Lord has prepared for 2/3 of Israel. Why? Because they chose what the Lord did not delight in. All right? This is part of the Lord's vengeance. All right? Part of his payback. You know? You didn't think that the Lord forgot. No. He said every man is going to be held accountable for everything he's done in this lifetime, in the past lifetimes. Okay? Nobody gets away. Bear with me. Just had this precept. Let's play some more of this video while I find this precept.
It's important to consider that even though landlords and tenants across the nation might be in different positions, they have been facing similar hardships. Ever since lockdown started to shutter bars, restaurants, and severely impacted the blue-collar job market, tens of millions of jobs vanished.
You see? Tens of millions of jobs vanished, man. All right? So even with the moratorium being done, it didn't give them no relief. It didn't give them any help. Okay?
And Americans lost their financial security and their ability to make ends meet. Despite current unemployment rates aren't as high as they used to be during the peak of the crisis, in real terms, nearly 10% of the U.S. workforce is still out of their posts. And according to a January Census Bureau survey, over 1/3 of all U.S. adults are still struggling to pay basic household expenses, with 11% reporting that their households didn't get enough to eat the prior week. Approximately 12 million U.S. renters are forecasted to be delinquent at an average of almost $6,000 in late rent and utility payments per household. And that's according to an...
Damn, did you hear that? $6,000 late in rent. Let's go back. Damn.
11% reporting that their households didn't get enough to eat the prior week.
Didn't get enough to eat the prior week, man. That's going back to what we just read, the famine.
12 million U.S. renters are forecasted to be delinquent at an average of almost $6,000 in late rent and utility payments per household. And that's according to an analysis by the economic research firm Moody's Analytics. To put that in some perspective, approximately 7 million households lost their homes in foreclosure during the 5 darkest years of the global financial crisis, Moody's researchers wrote. They continued saying, "Here, we have over 10 million families facing a similar fate over a matter of months." Even with the moratorium in place for almost a year now, many renters nationwide continued to face eviction despite the CDC's order. A recent report uncovered that corporate landlords had started to pursue over 40,000 evictions since the measure first went into effect. But in several cities such as Seattle and states including Washington, authorities have made it temporarily illegal for landlords to evict most tenants late on their payments during the crisis. Up until now, many of them have gotten a reprieve. However, the federal ban and its extensions are considered to be short-term fixes, completely unsustainable in the long run, and possible aggravators to the housing crisis. Even if they stay in place in some states for the foreseeable future, unfortunately, we are still going to witness millions upon millions of households evicted in this year of 2021. Housing advocates anticipate both a tsunami of evictions and a significant rise in homelessness to occur this year.
Woo, man! You see, this is the Lord's vengeance, man. This is what He has prepared for Babylon the Great and for those that hate Him. This is Jeremiah, chapter 51 and verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Yeah, how you gonna flee? Out of the ways, man. It starts with a mindset. All right, you gotta go clean contrary to the way Esau has set up his society, and go with who? Yahweh by Shah. It always starts out with a mindset. Okay, you think upon it. Once you think upon it, you act upon it. All right. It says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance." You see? And He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. They have made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. Yeah, these nations are mad. Why? Because they set up all their financial system the same way Esau did. All right? It says, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. See, the Lord is working this work. All right, He's causing these other nations to follow after the ways of Babylon the Great. Okay? That made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. Yeah, her philosophy. All right? Her way of life, her democracy. All right? This whore has spread it out all over the place. Okay, just like it tells us in Psalm, that great green bay tree. Psalm, I believe, 37 and 35. Jeremiah, chapter 51 and verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Yeah. On top of 2020, guess what? 2021 is going to be worse. It says over 20, tens of million going to be evicted. Okay. What's going to cause more homelessness, which in turn is going to cause what? More famine, more disease. All right, this place is done. Jeremiah 51 and 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. You see? So the Lord has heard the cry of the hopeful elect, and he's stepping in. All right? That's going to be it for the lesson. Lord willing, it's been edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much respect to you, brothers, laboring worldwide in truth and sincerity. Lord willing, coming to you a lesson. Till the next time I say, Shalom.